I'm very proud of my management experience. Because I've worked in several different roles in several different capacities, my management techniques can vary based on the scenario. When I was working as a camp director, I had a staff that ranged in age from 14 to 85. And the way you manage a 14-year-old and the way you manage an 85-year-old is very different. But also the types of issues that you have to manage in a camp scenario are very different than what you manage in engineering scenarios. At camp, I had a scenario where I had two girls who were lifeguards fighting over a boy. Now this creates a huge safety issue because if you have two girls who don't want to work together that are supposed to be keeping the campers who are swimming in the lake safe, you could have a camper drowned. This often makes some of the petty issues that get fought about in engineering organizations seem very small. Whether we're going to go with Ruby and CouchDB or whether we're going to go with PHP and MySQL is not going to result in someone dying. We might lose money, we might miss a deadline, but no one's going to actually die. It also has been fun, interesting, a challenge, depending on how you look at it, that in working at Microsoft, while I worked in a team on a regular basis, I also worked on special projects, such as CES presentations for Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer. When you're working on a special project, you have to borrow resources from other team members, and often those team members are working very hard towards a release that's going to coincide with that launch. So having them pull extra hours in order to build a presentation for not the thing that's going to be deployed, but just a demo, can be a real challenge. You have to explain to them why it is that this is helpful to the product, and in some cases you have to escalate to their manager or their manager's manager in order to get the results that you need. Because you don't have any direct carrot or stick to use. You can't say to them the way I can to a lifeguard, hey, if you can't work this out, I'm going to have to put you on a different project or work in one of the tasks that you're not going to enjoy as much. So work this out with this other girl. With an engineer who has no incentive and you don't manage, it really is about saying, hey, I'm doing this for this CES presentation. The code that you're going to use in order to help me fix this problem that I have is probably going to get merged in. I'm sorry that it's not going to get merged into this build and, or I need this solution, but it doesn't need to go through test pass, so I need you to violate protocol in a special build for me, is very different. I mean, it's just appealing to the person and building the relationships within the organization. Managing budgets has also been very interesting over the years. When you're working in a camp, you're talking about budgets in the small hundreds of thousands of dollars range. Working at Microsoft, the budget for my lab was in the millions of dollars range. And when I've been doing projects as my own company, I've had to manage budgets between multi-millions of dollars and small tens of thousands of dollars, but it's very impactful when it's your money. And occasionally in managing my own budgets, it's been, yes, I'm going to lose money on this project. I'm going to budget it so that it is a success, even though that's outside of the scope of the work that I'm doing for this client, because I need to maintain my personal brand. And those decisions are much more challenging than when you're in an organization and it's somebody else's money. It's very easy to tell someone else, we need to make sure this is a success. Let's lose $1,000 on this project because it's going to be good for our company, than it is to be saying, yes, I'm personally going to take $1,000 of my money, not make any money on this project that I should have been making money on, and it's going to be the right thing to do because if I don't, it will fall flat on its face. So the management experience that I have has been very varied, and I think that is a strength. I can thrive in many scenarios that other people would be pulling their hair out and stressed over. And a lot of that really does come from the having to train a staff so that they can be safe and secure and I can sleep at night knowing that they have children 40 feet up in the air in the high ropes course and that those children aren't going to die is just so much more impactful than anything that I've ever done in engineering. And the stress levels are dropped so much as a result of that.